As we get set for the second half of action, Case Western Reserve with a 10-point lead over John Carroll University, renewing an old rivalry here at Case Field, and a very good first half of action for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve, getting that quick 17-7 lead.
Well, they jumped out early, and then it was a matter of, well, kind of holding off that one rush by John Carroll, and then take that 10-point lead to the locker room.
We'll take a look at the numbers in just a bit as the kickoff goes into the end zone. As we take a look at some of those first half statistics on the change of possession, as Case will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 20. You look at the numbers for Case Western Reserve on offense. They did a very good job moving the football.
Yeah, 241 yards in total offense, but what you're used to seeing is those numbers flipped. It's usually 173 passing yards and 68 rushing yards. Case 173 yards rushing in the first half. Just a phenomenal job. Bill Deitman and crew running the football and establishing that line of scrimmage. John Carroll struggled most of the first quarter, did get some things going in the second quarter to total them up near 135 yards.
Well, Joey Baum out of the shotgun. They give it to Deitman once again. He'll run to the 25-yard line. Deitman in the first half, 122 yards rushing the football on 21 carries. Now you'll add another 5-6 yards to that total.
And that's right along his average for the game, 21 carries, 120 plus yards. So Bill Deitman can become a real weapon here, especially in the second half with a 10-point lead. You think of what you talk about, controlling the ball, and Case did a nice job in the first half, and Bill Deitman seems to be on his way here in the second.
And Joe Baum has done a very nice job today, as this one not going nowhere, as the Blue Streaks coming up with a big stop up front, and the stop being made by number 32, that's Seitzinger, the lone returning starting linebacker for John Carroll University, as we take a look at the replay.
Well, Bill Deitman just runs into trouble right away. The blocking breaks down, and a host of John Carroll players there, including Seitzinger.
Well, we were talking about Joey Baum, the senior out of Walsh Jesuit, and the pretty good first half he had, especially when you're giving the ball to Deitman and he's carrying the load for you.
Yeah, Baum just 8 passes, though.
But now he gets one out of the backfield to the first down marker, and he hurdles at the 30, gets out of bounds at the 33, and that's a big first down for Case Western Reserve University.
Well, you give Case credit for creating the space, and Joey Baum with just a nice little pass into the flat for Bill Deitman, a lot of room there, and then he hurdles the defender to pick up the first down. He jumps over Mike O'Neill, who put his head down. Can't tackle what you can't see.
And when you look at it, that's his first catch out of the backfield, and so those all-purpose yards will be a pretty big key for Deitman. He'll get the handoff, looking for a block, spins his way to the 40-yard line, into the defensive secondary, and another first down for Case.
Actually, check that. That's Derek Bush.
Oh, that's Berg, yes.
First look.
Similar running styles.
Oh, they're both 5'9", 5'10", 180 pounds, and they have that same mentality, Derek Bush and Bill Deitman, 22 and 33, and those guys wear jerseys that are about 3 sizes too small, and they shrink those numbers together.
And as you said, very similar running styles. They both get their hands and their arms around the football.
And you like the way they get their shoulders over their knees, shoulder pads ahead to really drive forward.
On an I formation, this time it's Deitman. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up about a yard on the play, as we are under the 12:45 mark here in the third quarter play. This is a telltale sign for this start of the second half for Case. They got their 17 points. They had the ball at the end of the first half. They continue it in the second half. They need to make a statement here of putting some points on the board on this first drive.
Well, and that'll stretch it out a little bit more, and again put more pressure on John Carroll. Again, playing from behind is not an easy thing to do, especially when they're running the ball effectively. Right there, Derek Bush, fresh legs against that tired John Carroll defense.
And Bush getting close to the first down. They're going to mark it about a yard shy. So he'll pick up 9 yards on the run, and Bush averaging 5.8 yards a carry last year, following his blocks.
Well, and a couple of nice kickouts again there. You see Tony Opperman really put a seal-out block on Emmett Lyden. Bush cuts up right behind there, picks up 5, 6, 7 yards.
Out of Katang, Pennsylvania. He will be the up back in this offense. Labarge is the fullback. Labarge will get it and goes nowhere. that you have to key and give the credit to Chuck Ahima, the only big experienced man on the defensive side for John Carroll coming back last year. 5 sacks, 53 tackles, 7 for losses.
Hell, he beat his man off the line and was right there waiting for LaBarge and shut it down. And Case tried to maybe sneak a first down there at him.
All right, there you see Coach Regis Gay saying, hey, good defensive stand here in the first few minutes of this third quarter.
Yeah, get the ball back and see if you can do something offensively now. Close that gap.
Frank Ross is standing at his 26-yard line as Vassell getting ready to kick this away at his 40. It's a wobbler. Ross calling for the fair catch, and it bounced off oh boy, talk about a great bounce for John Carroll University. It was off of Homek's leg, and it rolled about 10 yards or so the other way. But they're going to say, well, one official.
Yeah, it's going to be where the contact was made. It has to be.
That's where it would be down.
And it's got to be right about on that. No, now they're going to move it back up to the 30 and say it did not contact Homek.
Well, I guess John Carroll University gets a big break right now.
Caught a break. Yes, they did.
1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line, down by 10. As Devin O'Brien, the quarterback, getting it to Elsasser to the outside. And he gets over the 40-yard line to about the 42 as Devin O'Brien checking into the ball game as the quarterback out of Brookfield.
Well, Corey Castro takes that initial triple option, and with that, almost pulled the ball out of Devin O'Brien's hands. I don't think O'Brien wanted to give it to him, but Castro wanted to take it. He got recontrol of the football and was able to make the nice pitch and pick up the yardage.
Devin O'Brien saw action in one game last year, passed for 163 yards. Now it's an inside handoff quickly over the 45-yard line, and they give the ball to Corey Castro, the fullback.
Well, now you go from a pro set offense that you saw from John Carroll in the first half. Now they've moved into almost a triple option, old Oklahoma style offense. Not quite the wishbone, but certainly a triple option threat.
And Michael Locke, who was had rushed for 35 or 28 yards in the first half and passed for 52, out here in the third quarter as they try to get the handoff. And boy, they're trying to move Castro up forward to the first down marker. There was a lot of pushing and shoving up forward there.
Usually take the shoulder pads off and put on the rugby shirts for that kind of push on both sides.
Was a 2nd and 5. They'll pick up 3 yards on the play, and they'll call it a 3rd down and a short 2 situation. John Carroll, 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions as they look towards the sideline to get the play, running that no-huddle offense. Elsasser and Ross are the wideouts. They'll go with a 4 wide receiver set on 3rd and 2. Ross in motion, looking for the option. It's O'Brien to Ross. He gets a block at the 40 and taken down at the 35, but we've got a flag thrown. It could be a hold downfield against John Carroll University.
They're going to call the hold on Mike Locke, the quarterback who was lined up at wide receiver, and he's going to get called for the hook, and it's going to bring back the run by Ross.
And Ross spitting out some rubber pellets. That is the base of the field here at Case Field.
And it'll be 10 from the spot. And the block just got away from Locke, and as it developed, he just got himself on the outside, and he's going to get called for the hold every time you get your arms outside.
Illegal block in the back. Number 5, John. 10-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
So they'll move the ball back as we'll take a look at it. And
right there, just off camera, right there. He got outside, and they could have got him for the twist. Instead, they got him for the push.
So Devin O'Brien checks out of the quarterback, and Michael Locke is in. So they try to maybe catch Case off guard by changing the quarterback, and they bring in Michael Locke once again. Elsasser is the up back. They will have Madden in motion on the near side to the far side. Elsasser gets upended to the 50-yard line.
That's Rich Doolin and Dale English on the bottom of that pile. It's going to be short. I don't think he got into Case territory.
Now they're going to call it 4th down now.
Carroll will have to punt. I don't think it's a decision. It's too early in the third quarter to make that choice, especially on an unsuccessful 3rd down in which you only picked up a yard.
So that'll bring out Carl Rochon, the punter. It's on a 4th and 1. Now Case kind of backing off a little bit on the heavy rush. It's a wobbler at the 15. Trying to get it out to the 25. And Case Western Reserve will have the football on the change of possession. I don't know if you've noticed a special insignia on the back of those John Carroll University helmets. Let's go down to Paul Saisgerber to talk about what's going on with those helmets from John Carroll University.
Thanks, guys. Last night, after their final walkthrough, the John Carroll coaching staff took every player's helmet and said they wanted to spit shine it one last time. When the players got their helmets back, they had the 90th anniversary decal on the back of their helmet, as this is the 90th year of Blue Streak football. Now back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. A long, prestigious amount of football, both sides here, as the quarterback for Case, firing it downfield. Oh, what a catch being made by Homek down the field at the John Carroll 31. Wow.
Now with that, John Carroll may wonder if Joey Baum at halftime came out disguised as Dan Whalen. That's a Dan Whalen type of play. He got away from the defenders in the secondary. On the run, he fired it downfield, and Homek with an incredible catch, airborne, and brings it in.
Boy, he stretched his body out as far as it can go and used every bit of it to come down with a big catch. That is the 5th catch for Homek, close to 80 yards in receptions in this game. And that's a big play for the Spartans as they get it to Deitman over the 30 as he gets inside further, close to that 25-yard line. And boy, you talk about the run setting up the pass, and then Homek, who last year averaged 93 yards catching the football.
Yeah, over 1,000 yards receiving. He had 12 touchdowns, 69 receptions, was one off the school record. So Homek is the go-to guy. He's the one that's going to have to make Joey Baum comfortable.
And he was only the number 2 receiver in the UAA last year. Now Baum looking to throw again. Homek on the near sideline. Very nice catch, bringing it in close to the 21-yard line, a 7-yard pickup. Be very short. Now they're going to call it a 1st down. He had enough to get that football. Wow, very good spot.
1st and 10 for Case Western Reserve.
Just outside the 20-yard line.
Nice reception, bringing it in. That extra dive gives Case Western Reserve the 1st down.
Yeah, keeps his feet in bounds and tiptoes down there, stretches out, and picks up the 1st down.
On the I formation, they give it to Derek Bush, breaking a tackle to the 25, and he's inside the 15 before Jonathan Cooley coming in on the stop.
This is very similar to what you saw last year out of Case with 4 backs. Now you're seeing it with 2. Here's Derek Bush, complete fresh legs. Didn't see him at all in the 1st half, and he's got that high step, legs just running over John Carroll, picking up 12, 15 yards at a crack now. And because Bush, again, no action in the 1st half, plenty of energy here in the 2nd half.
A lot of people were wondering about Case. Will they have the offensive weapons this year after so much was lost to graduation? So far in this 1st game, they have answered that question as Baum looking into the corner, and it is incomplete as Homek could not grab it on the back end zone line.
Little out and up, little wheel route, and Homek was there, just slightly overthrown and stretched out, not able to bring it in. But again, on 2nd and 1, you have a lot of options to run. So now you're still in 3rd and manageable. Ball just outside the outstretched hands. Would have been a great catch for the touchdown.
That was an easier attempt than that last one before where he caught it that was 40-plus yards. Now they get it to Derek Bush again inside the 10-yard line as Case in the red zone looking to score once again as they have that 10-point lead at 17-7 with just about under 5:15 to go here in the third quarter of play.
A little that play right there just resets the chains, gives them 4 more downs from inside the 10-yard line. A little confusion.
Colin Repko checking in, and I think with Homek, he's holding that right arm a little bit, and he may be injured on that sideline. So let's see if he'll be back in after the next series as Baum out of the shotgun. They will give it to Derek Bush to the outside at the 6, and they're going to say the knee was touched down at the 6 as he tried to push forward inside the 5.
Bush with a little quick burst to the corner. And for Homek, he's back on the field, but it's hard to tell if it's an elbow, if it's his thumb. Maybe he jammed it when he landed.
Could have been when he was smacking the boards over there on the infield for the, I think that was the long jump pit.
Yeah, well, they have the slide there, the blocking slides.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 6 for the Spartans. Bush is the up back, play action fake. Looking, wide open, receiver, touchdown, Case, as Bryce Coleman, the tight end, coming up big for Case to extend the lead to 23-7, looking to make it 24 on the extra point.
Yeah, they used to refer to Chris Carter as all he did was catch touchdowns with Minnesota. Bryce Coleman has 2 career catches here at Case. They're both for touchdowns, 1 from 10 yards, 1 from 6 yards. So Coleman, every time he gets his hands on the football, puts points on the board for Case Western.
Sam Coffey getting ready for the extra point, and that one is blocked at the line, and I think that was Chuck Ahima who had a paw on the football.
That's going to be a key point here as the game goes on. It's a 16-point lead, 2 scores instead of 3.
That is going to be a big key as we go on. But the big key right now is for the Case defense. We'll take a look at it again. You see number 99 right there. Oh, here's the touchdown look as wide open in the end zone. And we've seen that in the coverage for John Carroll. The receivers getting behind that coverage and wide open.
Because especially on that little boot, what John Carroll's been looking at is the underneath receiver, and it's that one downfield for Case, maybe 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, that seems to find that void and find the opening. That's happened 2-3 times today as John Carroll pursues up on the underneath receiver, and they leave that receiver downfield about 15 yards wide open.
Another very good drive, key play, big play, as we are going to head down to Paul down on the sidelines, I believe.
Thanks, guys. Zach Homek was shaking his right hand, went over to the training staff and just kind of shared a laugh. So I think it was just from banging the boards. He was giving high fives with that same hand, so he's going to be fine.
Well, that is a good sign for Case fans, as Homek making a couple of great catches here on that last drive, and he will be a key cog for this Spartan team as the end-over-end kick will be taken by Mangiarelli. He is out over the 20-yard line, and very good kick coverage there by the Spartans. Coming in on the tackle was Wade Self out of Hawthorne Woods, Illinois.
Again, seeing a nice textbook tackle for Wade Self. He's wearing Jeff Brown's old number. Brown in 4 years here, one of the leading tacklers, very good middle linebacker, and again, that tradition continues to see Self as a sophomore. He'll see the field sometimes this year, and eventually down the line, will play that linebacker position.
You know, we were talking about the wind earlier on in the ball game, and it doesn't seem to have had much of an effect in this game.
No, both teams have pretty much been able to do what they want offensively, although they've both been more run-oriented than pass.
So now they get the pitch off to Ray Harris, and he will lose, they're going to say, 5 yards on the play. Case defense coming up big once again to make the play.
Well, you see the linebacker fills the one side, and that's what creates the option, one or the other, and it's 1 against 2. But Case also brought the defensive back up, and now you have 2 players taking on 2 players, and the option simply doesn't work there when the defensive backs fill the open void.
Well, Coach Regis Scaife now changing up quarterbacks. Devin O'Brien was the quarterback on that last play. Block is back in. Case with 349 yards in total offense, 165 for the Blue Streaks of John Carroll. Block looking to throw up the middle, fires a pass, incomplete. Castro has a case of the yips, but we've got a flag thrown way back where that pass was thrown. Holding against John Carroll University.
It's a decision time for Case. Do you make it 2nd and about 25 or 3rd and 15?
Now, Coach Debelak saying, hey, decline it.
It's an interesting situation, dynamic. What do you want to do?
Number 62.
The wind starting to blow a little bit more here at Case Field, as the referee saying it's going to bring up a 3rd down play. 3rd, and we'll call it a long 14 for the Blue Streaks, who have struggled a bit in this game. Only 52 yards passing. They've rushed the ball for 113 yards. Frank Ross, the wide receiver, is their leading ground gainer with 30 yards.
Nickel package for Case Western.
Block out of the shotgun. Downfield, Ross is open, and he got popped in the backfield. Zachary Haas just laid him out.
And Haas had a couple of shots earlier in the game, and that time he really laid the lumber to Ross. In fact, Ross may have gotten up headed to the wrong sideline.
And Ross had his hands. I mean, that was a catch. Let's take a look at the hard hit.
A lot comfortable in the pocket. He threw a strike over the middle. Ball was up a little bit, and there comes Haas to separate him. And a lot of high fives as Haas heads to the sideline. But again, just put the shoulder to shoulder. And I'm not sure Ross knew what hit him.
No, he was saying, where's the license plate? Did anybody get the license plate of that car? Now is Rochon kicking it off once again, as he is averaging 44 yards a kick. That's his 7th punt of the ball game. 2:47 remaining as the Spartans with a 23-7 lead. And you talked about laying the lumber, that defensive secondary. That was a big key play, because that would have really given some life to John Carroll University.
Well, and that's the job of a free safety. He drifts back, he reads the play, and he reacts to what he sees. Saw the ball coming over the middle. There's Ross with his hands up, and here comes Zach Haas and just drilled him at midfield.
So the Spartans will have Deitman in the backfield as the lone setback. Homek in motion. They'll go cross buck. Deitman with it to the 35 or to the 45-yard line. He'll pick up 3 on the play, but that continues to keep the clock rolling at the 2:38 mark.
Well, again, an effective ground game and a 16-point lead, and a defense for John Carroll that's been on the field a long time today.
Well, when you look at it, at one point in time, Case up 4 minutes more on the time of possession, 22 minutes to 18, and 22 minutes for Case. That means 22 minutes on the field for that John Carroll defense. Fumbled, and that's going to be down there at the 41-yard line, as Joey Baum could really one of the few mistakes being made by the Spartans in this game.
It was a low snap, but I wouldn't say that it was a bad snap, just not handled cleanly by Baum. But again, didn't try to do too much with it. I mean, he didn't try to pick it up on the run, try to throw it downfield. He got back on the ball, covered it up, and now they have a 3rd and long, but they still have possession of the football.
Brings up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 11 after a loss of a yard on the play. 4 down linemen for the Blue Streaks, as Coleman moves to the tight end to the far side of the field. Another bad snap, as Baum is back to the 25, and he goes down at the 26, 2 in a row.
That one, Joey Baum got caught peeking. He was checking out the blitzing linebackers and didn't follow the snap all the way back to his hand. And you can see it. Watch him just take that, whoop, right there. Just that little look upfield, and he wasn't sure, and then he had to go run it down. He did pick this one up and was swarmed under as the whole play breaks down when that happens.
Probably the worst drive of the night for Case Western Reserve here in this game, as we are under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter of play, as Vassell getting ready to punt once again. This will be his 4th kick of the day. Averaging 34 yards a kick, and this one is going to be short. It'll take a Case roll. Well, it'll make it a long one as it gets to the 30-yard line of John Carroll University, and it'll be down at the 28.
About a 15-yard roll. After that ball hit the turf, end over end kick, and he gets the positive roll as opposed to the check back that he had on his last kick.
You know, we were talking about the wind and how much of an effect it is. Hopefully we'll talk with Paul, who's been down on the sidelines, maybe to get his take on how the wind is down on the field. Up here in the booth, we can feel it and we can hear it. Maybe we'll be able to check in with Paul to find out how the wind is on the field.
The wind down here is strong. It's moving across the field. It doesn't favor one side or the other more than any other. So really, I mean, it's inconveniencing both teams just as well. I talked to the Case punter. He said he doesn't kick any different. Doesn't matter how the wind blows.
As now John Carroll on a swing pass over to Frank Ross on that little bubble screen. He'll get it out to about the 35-yard line, picking up about 6 yards. So everybody is saying, wind? We don't need no stinking wind. It's okay.
That play went to the far side of the field, Adam, and you can see it right there. That the wind has died down on one end, but if you look at the flag, it's still got some kick to it.
Old Glory that is flying to our right, pretty much straight up. And that'll be the end of the third quarter of play here at Case Field, as the Spartans leading it over John Carroll University 23-7. One more quarter of football remains here from Case Field. We'll take this time out on Sports Time Ohio. The fourth quarter getting underway here on Sports Time Ohio. Adam Mendoza along with Ed Doherty as Turay Harris gets the football close to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards, and more importantly, a very important first down for John Carroll University. Ed, how big of a drive is this for the John Carroll University Blue Streaks?
Well, for John Carroll right now, they need to get some points on the board. They're down 2 scores, but that also involves 2 two-point conversions. And you have to remember that every time the Case offense is on the field and gets a first down, it's an extra 2 minutes, really, that the John Carroll offense can't be out there. So the Blue Streaks have 2 opponents down as we head into the fourth quarter. Case and the clock. They need twice as many scores as they've had in the first 3 quarters.
John Carroll with 168 yards in total offense, 109 on the ground, 59 in the air. As Ross gets the pitch in motion, looking for 2 blocks. He's going to throw the football downfield. He's got the tight end, and it is caught. And making the catch is Ben Madden. And for Madden, that's his second catch, over 40 yards in receptions today.
Well, we talked about Ross getting involved in the offense. He's run the ball, he's caught the ball, and now here he's going to throw it. He has to straighten his shoulders, makes a pretty good throw out to Madden down the field, but he took another big hit as he let go of the football. Right there, Dale English planted him into the turf. So the last few offensive plays, Ross has taken some big hits from the Case defense.
Michael Locke with a 4 wide receiver set has thrown the ball 15 times, has completed 5 passes. Now he throws it for a 16th time, and it is complete to Ross, and he's got the first down once again as he is close to the Case Western 35-yard line, and they move the chains.
Officially for Ross, that's just his second catch of the football game. He does have some runs, and he has the completion. But the Case defense doing a nice job shutting down the captain for John Carroll.
And that is the 12th first down for John Carroll in this game. Down 23-7. The Blue Streaks needing a big score here in this fourth quarter as Alsasser goes in motion. On the shovel, and they get it inside the 35 to about the 34.
Well, Dan Calabrese brought him down, but Case with a different look there. Adam, they noticed that the run-oriented offense of John Carroll was in the game. They went with 5 down defensive linemen, and I think that prevented the sweep, so they had to go underneath. And there's Calabrese and Rich Doolin there to drag him down.
Talk about threading the needle on that shuttle pass right there. 2nd down and 7 for the Blue Streaks. Another again that 4 wide receiver package. As Locke looking to throw. Nice catch once again, and coming up big on that catch is Webster. Sean Webster, the senior out of St. Ignatius. That's his 3rd catch of the ball game.
Does a nice job, hands above his head, but still does a nice job of getting his feet down before he gets pushed out of bounds. Close to a 1st down.
Webster, the senior at 6 foot, out of St. Ignatius. Now the Blue Streaks going in that pro eye set.
Nickel package for Case Western on defense.
Harris is the up back. They'll give it to the first man through. That is Corey Castro. He'll get the 1st down as he is close to getting inside the red zone, but they're going to mark it at the 21. And more importantly for the Blue Streaks, that's a 1st down.
Well, Zach Haas there with another big tackle, and you heard it all the way up here. Haas and Castro getting together, another big hit. Haas the enforcer on that Case defense. Here it is through the middle, and Haas sticks his shoulder in again and brings him down.
Good downfield blocks, and a fullback who maybe that main blocking back is going to make the most of it when he gets his hands on the football. On 1st down. Locke looking to throw. Heavy rush. He's going to go down for a sack. Richard Doolin out of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, coming in and dropping him for almost a 10-yard gain.
Well, Harris and English also there. Locke put his head down after the play fake. And as he looked up, all of a sudden he sees Rich Doolin right in his face and had nowhere to go with the football.
A big, big stop for the Case defense.
And Doolin, just a junior. Again, that front 4 for Case, 6'1", 241, and the linebackers go 6'0", 200. Quick, fast, agile.
A loss of 10 on the play as Harris, flag thrown, most likely a hold against John Carroll University. And when you look at that last sack, I think that's the 1st sack in the game for Case. John Carroll last year gave up 8 quarterback sacks, as the penalty will go against the Blue Streaks. 8 quarterback sacks they gave up, best in the Ohio Athletic Conference.
Well, and some of that is the line, some of that is the quarterback. You know, you go back and forth, but we'll get the call from the official here.
Holding, number 55, John Carroll. 10-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
And when you look at Case's defense last year, 22 sacks on the season.
They put pressure on the quarterback, but their objective, again, it was the front 4, maybe even the front 3, depending on which set it was to create some situations where it allowed the linebackers to make the tackles. Yes, they did get some sacks. Dale English, Rich Doolin combined for almost 12 sacks. But the focus of the defense for Case Western is truly the linebacking core.
When you look at the defense for Case, they gave up 126 yards a game on the ground. They've held John Carroll to 109 as Locke looking downfield, and it's picked off. Case coming up with a big INT. I think that may have been a misread as the receiver was moving the wrong way, and it was right into the hands of a blue jersey, and Case comes up big.
Well, again, we talked about Haas playing center field. His job is to simply sit and watch, and as he did, there's Locke, drops in the pocket, Haas in the middle of the field, trails the ball downfield, and as it's overthrown, he just catches it, hauls it in, and he has himself an interception.
Sean Webster was the intended receiver.
Yeah, just overthrown. It was on line, just over Webster's head, and Haas again there to make the pick.
Now, can Case make John Carroll pay for that big mistake here as really the first turnover of the ball game as they get it to Derek Bush. Bush attacking at the line of scrimmage, will pick up a couple of yards on the play. Green coming in on the stop for John Carroll University, and the clock is not on the side of the Blue Streaks as they find themselves down 23-7 here in the fourth.
And continue the defensive secondary has to continue to come up for John Carroll and make the stops. The front six, front seven for Carroll not doing a very good job of stopping plays at the point of contact. And the secondary, when they're making the majority of your tackles, you're going to be in some serious trouble.
Bomb under center with an I formation. They get it to Deitman. Deitman spinning his way, and it's a rough half yard that he gained because he was wrapped up by Kyle Scherer.
Again, we talked about it. Every set of 4 downs for Case Western is 2 minutes really off the clock for John Carroll. So Case's objective is to get a couple of first downs and really put Carroll in a deep hole here, facing about 3rd and 5.
Ball spotted at the 18-yard line. Getting a heavy rush, and the football is loose, but it looks like John Carroll may have picked it up at the 15. Let us wait and see. No, they're going to say it is going to be 4th down. Boy, Case got a big break of falling on the football.
I think that was Tony. No, check that. Matt Yanasco on the recovery. Yanasco, 6'4", 300 pounds. The right guard. As Baum got hit from behind. Well, he may have been down before that was loose, but Yanasco comes up with it, holds on as John Carroll tries to fight. Clock still running.
And that forces Vassell out to kick the football once again. Frank Ross back at his 45-yard line. And they'll take a lot of time off the clock, and they'll take the penalty on the delay of game.
They took it down as far as they could.
Delay of game, number 90, Case, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Now 2 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock from the point of interception now till punt. So in terms of yardage, it may not have cost John Carroll anything, but it certainly cost him some valuable time.
This one an end over end kick, and I think it's going to get a Case roll at the 40 inside the 35, and you gotta love when you get that bounce of the football.
Well, Ross had a misread. I think he stepped up initially to try to field it, realized it was over his head, almost like a center fielder with a ball hit right at him, and then has to decide how he's going to go back on it. By the time he turned around to go back and get it, he just gave up on it. It hit the ground, took the nice Case roll, and now John Carroll inside their own 35 with just over 8 minutes to play in the football game. A lot of work to do offensively for the Blue Streaks.
You need that quick strike offense. There you see at the top left corner, Tom Arth, the former quarterback at John Carroll University, now the co-offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, also doing some other duties in recruiting there at John Carroll University. And boy, I'm sure he would be like, he would like to say, can I get on the field, coach? I'd like to throw the football a little bit.
See if we can find a year of eligibility left for Mr. Arth.
Well, I think playing for the Indianapolis Colts kind of puts that damper. Now Locke on the pump. He's going to run it at the 40, out to the 45, and gets out of bounds. Very smart play, because that stops the clock with 8:06 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Initially, he was looking for the little drag route. Webster coming across the formation from right to left. When it wasn't there, it cleared out, and Locke rightly pulled it down and took off and picked up about 15 yards on the ground.
Locke with an interception in this ball game. Last year, 6 of 15 for 43 yards in the backup role in 3 games. So he picks up the first down, ball spotted at the 45. Ross now going in motion with a 5 wide receiver set. Locke flushed out of the pocket, looking downfield, throwing to a wide open receiver, and it is caught and dropped. Incompleted pass as they tried to get that one to Josh Rentz. And that is, I think, at the 3rd time that John Carroll has had the ball in their arms and they just can't hang on.
Well, Locke makes something happen, sees a receiver downfield, and it's right there, and he felt the pressure coming. The footsteps.
Yeah.
And more like maybe a train whistle the way Case has been hitting here in the second half.
So it brings up a long 10 yards to go on 2nd down for Locke and company. Empty backfield. Looking up the middle. Fires the pass. It is caught at the 49. Madden on the reception, but good defensive coverage there by the Case linebacker.
Case dropped into a zone. 4 down linemen with the 7 in the secondary. They took the 3 linebackers and pulled them all back into a nice zone. So really the only thing that Locke had available for him was underneath. And right there after the catch, Case shut it down.
And he had a lot of time to throw. He's throwing again, being rushed out of the pocket, looking to the near side, fires an open shot. It is caught at the 30-yard line. Josh Rentz coming up for the catch for the Blue Streaks. Rentz out of Trinity High School.
That makes up for the drop he had earlier. Worked into an open seam, allowed his quarterback to scramble, find some spots. Again, a tough throw against his body. And again, just that small little void, and Locke not afraid to throw it in there.
Harris trying to find a hole. He does, and he gets hit at the 21. He'll be short of the first down. And that play by Locke on that last throw showed the composure. The pocket was collapsing on him, and he was able to get the ball out. Now, once again, quick, no huddle offense. They get it to Harris inside the 15 to about the 14. But the clock is not on their side. It is under 6:35. And the referee and timeout is going to be called by Case Western.
Well, and I think that's necessary because what was happening is with the hurry-up offense of John Carroll, Case couldn't make the substitutions they wanted on defense. They've been running players in. They've been showing a 4-2 front. They've been showing 6 defensive backs. They've been showing even a 5-down lineman set based on what they thought the situation was. With John Carroll running to the line of scrimmage, they couldn't get their personnel in and off the field. They were stuck in a certain base defense that they didn't want to be in.
And Coach Debelak said, hey, we got to call timeout. We need to get the defense out there to make a stop because Case finding themselves with their backs to the goal line. You know, John Carroll in the red zone. When they do get in the red zone, they're 1 of 1. So they've had their shot in the red zone and had made the most of it, scoring last year in the OAC and in the season. John Carroll, 29 of 37 in the red zone, 78%, 22 touchdowns, 7 field goals. That's pretty good.
Well, and it shows a productive offense, a team that can get inside and then doesn't make that one mistake that backs you up. They don't get that holding call, that false start that pushes you in a situation where all of a sudden you're looking at 3rd and 12 in the red zone, and you may give up not only 7 points, you could give up 3 points as well. And John Carroll didn't make those mental mistakes to push him out of situations and capitalize being inside the 20.
Once again, Locke out of the shotgun with a 4 wide receiver package on first down at the 14. Linebackers, here comes the blitz. Locke looking to throw. Looking up, he runs. He's at the 15 to the 10 to the 5. He's going to score a touchdown from 14 yards out. Michael Locke with the rushing touchdown.
Well, Locke tried to get the ball downfield, and when there was nothing there, he just pulled it under and took off. And with Case blitzing, it left less people in the defensive secondary, and Locke was able to step through for the touchdown.
And he did see those linebackers cheating up there and was able to find the hole. And now the Blue Streaks will go for 2.
Well,
very important,
and this is key, because here, if John Carroll converts this, they're down 1 score. They don't, all of a sudden, the missed extra point from Case Western is not as important.
So now they will bring out Elsasser as the setback. Webster will be in the receiver to the near side. Locke under center. Oh, you can hear the crowd saying, hold that line. Play action. Locke looking to throw, fires the pass. It is broken up on a very good defensive play being made by Lucas Sasala.
That Case defense not fooled by the misdirection play action, and Locke had to stop, look, and wait. And with that, the misdirection of the play broke down. The advantage swung to Case Western, protecting that 2 points.
23-13. We'll take a look at the Locke touchdown run.
He gets the protection, steps up between, and now it's just a matter of him making a couple of moves, and 2 Case defenders run into each other trying to make the tackle. The only maybe thing you could say on that is he had the ball out and not inside protecting it on the run.
And this is a really big play for the Case defense.
And as Locke fires it over the middle, there's Sasala. He breaks on the ball and knocks it away. It was intended
for Elsasser
out of the backfield, but Case not fooled by the misdirection and the defense swarmed under.
And if you look at the Case receiving unit, they've got the good hands people all within. They just have one setback, and that is Colin Repko, and you've got 10 players at the 40 and 45 ready for it. They think, well, I believe that John Carroll's going to try the onside kick.
Well, Nicely and Homick and Deitman are all out there for Case Western.
The good hands people up front.
This might be a chip shot in a race to the football.
Justin Fink kicks it onto the ground. It'll be picked up at the 25-yard line and downed at the 27. And the Case Western Reserve University Spartans will have the football with 6:27 remaining and a 10-point lead. And what Coach Debelak would like to have is a long, sustained drive,
28-yard line.
as the Blue Streaks now putting up some numbers in this second half. 268 yards in total offense.
Yeah, Case only about 60 yards in total offense here in the second half. Kind of sitting on things overall.
Well, we'll check in with Paul Salzgeber down on the sidelines, who was eavesdropping on that huddle after this play. Deitman on the run. He'll pick up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Paul, what was going on in that huddle down there on the sidelines before this first play?
Guys, in the huddle, Coach Debelak just stressed the importance of staying in bounds. Obviously, the clock is John Carroll's biggest enemy. No real strategy, just stay in bounds and keep the clock running.
And I would say Deitman or Derek Bush, you're going to be getting the workload in this drive.
Well, Greg Debelak's a very tactical thinking coach. He has all of the bases covered, and the reminders there are drilled into his players' heads.
And they give the ball to Derek Bush. He breaks a tackle to the 40, fights his way to the 41, and it's a big first down for Case. Once they reset the chains, it's going to be another first down.
So that's just again, that same play they've been running all day. That sweep to the left, the sweep to the right, but you have somebody again with maybe fresher legs because Bush didn't see action in the first half.
Deitman coming back in the ball game. Labarge is the fullback. A 31-game regular season winning streak is on the line for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve University. They have won 3 consecutive UAA titles and 3 NCAA playoff appearances, looking to make it 4 in a row as Deitman runs ahead for 7 yards.
Now you have to go all the way back to 2006, Adam. Last time Case lost the regular season, and that was a trip to Grove City where things just didn't go right all day. They had 5 turnovers in that game at Grove City 4 years ago, but since then, in the regular season, absolutely perfect. Had some troubles in the playoffs, 1-3 overall in that time, but in the regular season, they've dominated.
Coming into this game, Case lost 13 regular starters. It doesn't seem like that today, as they've put up over 337 yards in offense. This is the 17th meeting between the two schools as Deitman gets a first down to the 45-yard line. The last time these two teams met, it was back in 1988, and John Carroll University won 27-10.
Yeah, you got to remember, think about that. Ronald Reagan was still president. They hadn't had the 1988 election yet when these two teams last met. So that's a full generation, and the two teams, Case has definitely grown in that time. And John Carroll continues to build on their tradition in that time as well.
And it was in 1989, that next year, that they did go to the Division III playoffs on the arm of Larry Wonky, who was drafted in the NFL at that time. As we've got a flag thrown, most likely it's going to be a holding call. And I'm going back into the deep recesses of my mind. Larry Wonky was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last player taken in the NFL draft, a graduate of Benedictine High School and John Carroll University.
Now, locally, I wouldn't call him Mr. Irrelevant.
No, not at all.
High school-wise, he was phenomenal. Had a great career at John Carroll, and ends up being the last pick to go in the NFL draft. But so he gets a little bit of notoriety out of that.
He hits to the face. Number 99, John Carroll. 15 yards into the run. First down.
Chuck Ahima, the guilty party on that play, with hands to the face with 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. But when you look at the history of these two schools, John Carroll had its ups. Right now it's in a bit of a down period, trying to turn things around. Case had its down period and really just feeling the resurgence over the last 3-4 years and hoping to continue that.
Well, and it was really in the mid-'80s that Case had a couple of that undefeated season. In fact, Fred DeSanto, he had on it at halftime, was part of those teams in the mid-'80s that were well known here at Case Western.
And now it's Derek Bush on a big run. Those fresh legs going again and spinning his way to the 15-yard line.
Bush, the ball carrier. Tackled by Cooley.
Cooley coming up and making the tackle for John Carroll University. Nice run there by the fresh legs of Derek Bush.
Nice kick out block by LaBarge as well. A couple of moves by Bush, spin move, and he gets the ball inside of the 15-yard line.
Very impressive performance by the Case running backs. Over 200 yards rushing today. Normally it's 200 yards passing.
And that's usually in the first half with Case Western.
3:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. And this time Deitman getting it to the 10, inside the 5, fighting his way inside the 4.
And as Deitman is racing towards the goal line, Greg Debelak is running downfield, waving his arm like a third base coach, almost insisting that Deitman stay in bounds, wind the clock.
He comes up hobbling a little bit, as we'll take a look from our end zone camera right there. Block after block, and then he finds a little hole to slip through it.
And he cut back to the inside first, so if he did get pushed, he was not going to get pushed out of bounds.
Under 2:50 remaining here in the fourth quarter, a 10-point lead for the Case Spartans, as Joey Baum making his 2010 debut, a very good one. Stacked backfield, and they're going to give it to Trevor LaBarge, and it is a touchdown. That is, hey, you've been doing a great job opening up holes. You take it into the end zone.
Well, thank you very much. And behind that offensive line, and Bryce Coleman as well, and Trevor LaBarge gets his first career touchdown.
And when you work as hard as Trevor LaBarge has in today's game, opening up the holes for his backs, that's his reward right there. As the kick is up, and it is good. That makes it a 30-13 game.
And Case has answered. John Carroll put points on the board. Case gets the kickoff and says, we're going to end it right here. And that pretty much put the dagger into John Carroll's heart as LaBarge tumbles into the end zone for the touchdown, and a 17-point lead again for the Case Spartans.
People may not realize how hard fullbacks work. They don't get too many opportunities, A, to run the football, B, to score. And I think that's the reward that Coach Debelak gave him, saying, look, you've been doing a great job tonight. You've opened up holes for your backs. Take it, give me a score.
And it's those kinds of maybe unsung things that you don't necessarily see on a stat sheet that turn into big rewards, especially game 1, game 2, and then eventually in game 10, when now you really feel comfortable running the football. He feels where his running backs are behind him and can almost sense where they're going to cut, and he knows where to make the block. He doesn't have to wait for them maybe to get it and push him towards a blocker.
And remember, those fullbacks, they're human battering rams. That is their primary purpose. You look at him, he's happy. He's got that score. He's got that rugged look going. It's not too often that you see those fullbacks getting the score, as this end-over-end kick will be driven at the 1. It is out to the 15, to the near side, and nothing going there for Mangiarelli. And it's a long, long field for John Carroll University. 2:27 remaining. You look at the numbers for Case.
Well, things are just stat sheet-wise are back to about where they were midway through the second quarter, as Case had the game in control, really now controlling the football game.
394 yards total offense for Case Western. Now, a lot of folks are going to say, hey, that's good. They threw the ball a lot. No. 261 yards rushing, 133 yards passing. That system has changed in this game, but don't worry, folks. I think you're going to see Baum throwing the ball a little bit more as the season progresses.
Bill Deitman had 31 carries tonight.
Inside bubble screen to get it to the tight end, La Jeunesse, and or make that
That's Dan Accordy.
Yeah, that's Accordy. Looking
wide
at the wrong
receiver.
on the wrong side, same number.
Another local product. He's from Elyria Catholic.
Second down and 3.
And for Michael Locke, 11 of 23 for 111 yards. Leading receiver is Ben Madden, 3 catches for 46 yards. As Baum out of the shotgun. On the drop, stepping up into the pocket. Has to run, looking for a block downfield, and gets out of bounds as he is tripped up at about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, it was pursued from the backside. Dale English got up around his ankles as Locke headed out of bounds.
Talking about quarterbacks, and you look at Locke on the run, the leading ground gainer for John Carroll at 49 yards.
Well, and besides the runs, we had the touchdown run that pulled him within 23-13, but you notice there again, Locke running with the ball away from his body in one hand. So I don't know if he's trying to make a play, but he's going to have to bring it in as the season goes on, or those are going to turn into turnovers.
As Locke looking to throw, flushed out of the pocket once again, looking downfield, firing the pass, and it is incomplete as they were looking. Madden once again. Now you look at Baum and how efficient he was in this game. 9 of 13 for 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked once in the game.
Well, and that was the bad snap that he had to go run back down and attempted to pass on it and got brought down. So I don't know. Technically, it probably went as a sack with the rush, but Baum again very efficient.
Locke looking to throw. He gets hit. And it's a fumble, and I believe it is Case football.
Adam Watson with the recovery. Another local product, Adam Watson from Mentor, Ohio.
The third sack, a big one for Case, and it causes the second turnover of the ball game.
And Adam, you mentioned it earlier that John Carroll last season gave up just 8 sacks. Case Western's been able to get to him 3 times tonight.
And the big key for John Carroll coming into this game, yeah, they gave up 8 sacks last year, but they only have 1 starter returning on that offensive line. And that's Phil Bakovitz out of Gallipolis, who moved from tackle to guard. And Case will be content with just dropping a knee and walking away with a 30-13 win. And we talked about this in the pregame. This matchup of the University Athletic Association against the Ohio Athletic Conference, and this was a big game for the UAA and Case Western Reserve, saying, hey, you know what? We can compete with the OAC.
Right, often the OAC is often looked at as the top conference in Division III football, or at least in the top 3 overall. And the UAA maybe gets doesn't get that second look because they only have 4 teams, and you have Carnegie Mellon, who's primarily a wing T kind of team and running the football. Case, yes, oh yes, Case won it 3 years in a row, but they threw the ball around the field. They weren't really a Midwest kind of football team. And tonight they came out and showed that they can run the football, and they really ran it down the throat of a team that's predicted to finish middle of the pack in the OAC. So yes, Case proved tonight that they can play a step up with a nationally known conference and a nationally known opponent.
And when you look at this is the only non-conference game for John Carroll University. After this, they get a break and they go right into OAC action. You see Coach Greg Debelak has to be very content. I believe it's a bittersweet because it's like, yeah, we won, but yeah, we beat my alma mater. But then it's like, yeah, but we beat them.
And it's again, it's a little bit of that. Hey, we got it under our belt. Look, Dan Whalen's no longer here. Look what we can come out and do. And we show that we are able to adjust the personnel that are on the field here. And the handshake between Coach Debs and Regis Scaife. And you see Tom Zagorski for John Carroll, offensive line coach. And Zagorski played for Debs here at.
And there he's talking to Tom Arth, who he really tutored for a long time back in the day when Tom Arth was slinging the football for John Carroll University to an All-American status and also to a national divisional semifinal.
A lot of crossovers between Case and John Carroll, which is what makes this game really kind of special, and hoping that they can continue the tradition of maybe playing in week 1 and become a familiar local rivalry that the students, the fans locally get involved in and really embrace a week 1 matchup between these two schools.
And the funny thing is that for Case, it's easier to schedule that non-conference game than those teams locally here in the OAC because they only have 1 game. Let's go down to Paul, down with the winning head coach, Greg Debelak.
Thanks, guys. Join with the Case Western coach, Greg Debelak. And coach, you had nearly 400 yards of total offense, which isn't a shock to most people who follow the program, but you had more than 250 on the ground.
Well, we're a different team this year. We have a very experienced offensive line, and we're going to go to them. And I think Joey Baum will be a very efficient quarterback, but today the run was working, so we just stuck with it.
Upstairs, they were saying that the UAA only has 4 teams, so you might not get as much respect as a team from the OAC, which has obviously Mount Union and a bunch of others. How big is this win for the program?
It's a big win. I mean, there's a perception that the UAA schools aren't that great. And I can tell you, I've coached in it for 7 years. I coached in the OAC for 10. And the UAA teams are good programs. I'm not saying week in, week out in the OAC we're going to beat everybody, but we would be competitive. So I'm very proud of my guys.
All right, Coach. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Doing a great job down on the field, and great view from across the dorms here at Case Western Reserve University and Case Field as the Spartans come up big with a 30-13 win over John Carroll University as they renew the rivalry. The last time these two teams met, it was back in 1988. And now this series, John Carroll still has the lead in the series, but it's now cut down to 9-8-1. And I believe they'll meet up maybe one more time next year at Don Shula Stadium in University Heights.
And it's real nice they were able to put 2 together. Let's see if they can schedule it, because Case has the UAA games, but they also have a working agreement with the North Coast Athletic Conference as well, where they play teams out of there. So they have 5 games that they have to schedule in the NCAC as well. And I'd like to see it continue. I think it was a very good game, and I think it involved a lot of people on a Labor Day weekend. Ideal setting for Case and John Carroll to get together.
Well, today's broadcast is being produced by Media Vision, a department of Case Western Reserve University. For our director, Steve Warren, our technical director, Kerry Polachek, for my partner, Ed Doherty, Paul Salzgeber down on the field. I'm Adam Mendoza. The final score once again, Case with a 30-13 win over John Carroll University. You've been watching Case football on Sports Time Ohio.